Well, I think we can establish from that opening statements that you are an actor and you
You know
live it.
what? I
Yeah.
want to bring up one more thing. I want to bring up one more thing about the CCA thing, which I think this is it's fascinating. First of all,
You got
the
to
way that I got
meet
the
Megan
role,
Fox.
yeah, but the way that I got the role was a complete, you know, serendipitous like fate, right? It was amazing how that happened. But aside from being the thing that got me my SAG card, it was the
Cool.
first time I ever acted on camera. The first time I ever acted on camera was with Bruce Willis. The pressure was on for sure because I had done plays, I had done theater.
So you weren't fully inexperienced. You had
I was
some
not inexperienced.
acting
No,
training.
I grew up, mostly in South Florida and Brazil. But in South Florida, I was part of this wonderful acting troupe, led by an incredible, incredible teacher and mentor, named Mr. Tony Kessler. And Mr. Tony Kessler, he had, the drama class at Margate Middle School, where I went to middle school. And if he saw that the students were kind of getting along and really wanted to learn the craft, he had this, kind of like summer stock and weekend thing that you could do where he would put on plays and then you could develop the craft. And
Right.
he almost like, it's like he needed to see that the kids were serious about it. And so we used to put on these plays and I had amazing learning experiences. And that was the first time I had any experience acting at all. But it was on stage and we put on, musicals and plays, and I had the experience of feeling what it was like. Because before that, it was watching movies like Top Gun and Grease and wanting to be Tom Cruise and John Travolta and thinking that it was this grand thing. But the theater has a way of making it real and bringing it to this present, fluid live thing that you have to deal with the fact that it's in front of a live audience and you can't do another take. It's like learning
Take
that
it from the
skill is
top.
really amazing.
You
Yeah.
know.
Hold on. Let me do that again. Here's a.
That's why they say that theater is the only art that belongs to the actor, because they say that TV is the art of advertisement
Oh.
and movie is the art of the director, because even though if you have your most brilliant moment and the best acting ever, like that one scene that you just killed it, you just did an amazing, incredible job. If the director feels that he wants to cut that off the movie,
Hmm.
nobody ever gonna see that. Nobody's ever gonna see that. So the only time that the actor has full control and is portraying his art live is on stage. Like you said, you just say, "Oh, you can make a mistake and say, oh, sorry guys, I'm gonna go back and do it again."
Mhm.
That there's no takes. You know,
You know,
you
we're
gotta
Just like
improvise.
life.
yeah, we're
So
we're at the, we're at the mercy of the editor. It's amazing as an actor. It's like you're saying you put this great stuff forward, and sometimes you feel like you really experienced it in that take, and then you watch the final product, and they actually chose the take that you thought wasn't great, but they thought it was great.
exactly,
And it's like you have this relationship with someone you generally never even meet, which is the editor, the person who
yeah,
who puts it together and chooses how that scene is gonna go. And sometimes your own vanity can get in the way where you're like, no, 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 we should have stayed in my close up for this moment. And they're like, no, no,
right.
we actually liked what the other person, the look in her eyes while you were confessing your love. You're like,
The
"But I was
twinkle.
so." Yeah, exactly. So
Well, it's
it's
just
it's an
that
amazing thing. It's
there
a
are a lot of
collaborative effort.
exactly a lot of eyes involved in the process in order to get to that final uh, product. So it's really on stage that it's that moment that the actor has full control of what he's doing on stage. And if you mess it up, you have to somehow adjust and improvise in order to kind of like not make the audience realize that you made a mistake. So it's the only art that is actually considered the art of the actor, you
Yeah.
know?
The
So
theater's
that's an
alive.
interesting idea.
The theater's alive. You can feel the audience. You can feel if they're really responding that night.
Hmm.
And that's why I think some shows feel different than other ones. It's because the audience is right on top of their cues, so to speak. They're laughing loudly right when the big comedy moments are. And then sometimes you feel like they're falling asleep because it's the 8 o'clock at night show, and they're already thinking
You can
about what they
actually
want to
hear
do after.
somebody
Yeah, I can
snoring.
hear them hear them talking about where they want to get a piece of cake after they leave the performance.
Yeah, there.
So yeah, the theater is alive, but I had never heard it be said, it be called like, the actor's kind of art
Right.
form, but that makes a lot of sense to me.
Like I said, you can have your most beautiful moment in front of the, in front of the camera. If the director decides that that's not the best take, or they want to cut that scene out,
We
that's
get a
it.
do
That's it for you, my
over.
friend.
Yay. Yeah.
What do you think about all this, Luis?
Yeah.
Me,
Being
I
the
was
only
hearing
non-actor.
I was hearing talking Gabe talking about Leo, and I also I feel like I'm kind of like that in that way because I'm also very picky with my directors in my work. In fact, I have chosen none and acted ever in my
You're
life.
waiting for the right
I'm
one.
so picky. Exactly. So as a non-actor and a person who kind of is not terrified of the stage, but I feel like there's tiers to being as an artist exposed, and I'm a musician. I can hide behind my instrument, but I feel like an actor is might be only second to, I guess, is I'm not sure if you'd consider this a sub form of acting, which would be comedy. Like I
Mhm.
feel like comedy is like the most vulnerable and the most exposed. You don't try to entertain, you try to get a specific type of entertainment because as an actor you can make people cry, laugh, and go through all kinds of emotions, but specifically a comedian to sit in front of an audience and just
There's
like demand their attention and also, I'm gonna do this, and I have nothing but my voice and my intellect to get you there. It's kind of like next level. Absolute respect.
the thing about comedy too is it's like it doesn't respond to feeling like it's trying to be funny.
Mm,
When people are trying to be funny, it's generally not, which is why you notice a lot of times a very interesting thing to do and to really see, like a comic at the height of their craft is to go to two of their shows and see them do the same set.
Mm,
And what you'll realize is this sort of ease with which they kind of work the crowd or work the stage. A lot of times it's very well rehearsed. Not that they do it the same exact way,
mhm,
but they're so comfortable with the material, they're so comfortable with their timing that the they're masters of the art of looking relaxed too,
yeah.
because they know that if they look
Yes.
tense and all of a sudden they're trying to see if their jokes are landing, the audience is going to feel that,
Right.
and so nobody
Unless
wants to
that's part of the
feel that. Unless
character.
that's, of course, there's styles and
Yeah.
personalities to that too, for
But
sure.
see, you said something interesting, but I feel like that goes for all different genres. Genres.
genres,
Genres.
genres,
How do
Genres.
I say that?
Genres, yeah.
genres.
Genres, sorry. Um, because my acting coach, Craig Archibald, he used to say, you can't get caught acting. If you get caught acting, that's it. You know,
Game over, buddy.
that's your job as an actor, just to not get caught acting. So if if you're trying, like in a drama, for example, if you're trying to be too dramatic, and if you get caught acting, then that's it for you. People are going to realize that it's not good acting.
Mhm.
So I feel that, yeah, that plays in every area of acting, every different genre, not just for comedy. But comedy has this timing thing also, that is,
Yes.
it's very important. If you don't have the right timing,
Hmm.
then, but I don't know, maybe saying like that right now, it feels like it
Make me laugh.
it could
Go.
it could be, no, it could serve for every genre too. If you don't cry at the right time, if you don't, say deliver your line at the right time, it doesn't necessarily has to be a comedic chop, or maybe.
I do find comedy to be more difficult because I do think that the sense of timing of a certain type of rhythm is sort of the fabric of a lot of the good comedy that we watch in film and television. Whereas with drama, a lot of times letting the moment breathe or the line have a couple beats before it, sometimes that feels like real life. It feels like introspection. It feels like being pensive, and that's real, and that can be very real. But I think you're
Yeah.
really right. I think I've definitely you know thought of myself as maybe at times being a little too cerebral with my approach to acting, and sometimes I've tried to unwind that. But one thing that I have done is try to reverse engineer. If I'm watching a performance that I don't think is good because it's a small student film or independent production or indie, there's all or just in class, right?
Right.
Why is it that I'm not believing this? And I think trying to reverse engineer why this doesn't feel like watching Leonardo DiCaprio is part of what you can grow from.
Yeah.
And most of the time, it's because you can feel the person acting or trying to act or trying to play it the way that they think that it should look in its best form. And a lot of times there's a ton of vanity or ego behind that. In other words,
Right.
like, and that's I think the danger sometimes with kind of idolizing other actors is you tend to maybe without even knowing it, maybe subconsciously try to
Mimic,
replicate and mimic a
replicate.
little bit
Yeah.
of what they do,
Yeah.
and so that's a little bit dangerous because I think, you know, audiences, but people, we want authenticity, and so you have to somehow take what you like about your idols,
You have to be
but not
good
try
at
to be another one of
observing.
them.
I think
Yeah, not,
observation is
yes,
it's a great element to have in your favor. You can the ability to observe and see the good qualities of that actor and kind of like absorb that and try to portray that in your acting, but not to mimic completely.
right,
So there's a little
replicate.
there's a little a little detail there that could play in your favor or against you.
James Dean has a
But
quote that says exactly what you're referencing there, which he talks about how it's part of the actor's job to seek out more of life in terms of experience
mhm.
than he would otherwise just run into. You have to seek out this kind of information by being observant, by being exposed and vulnerable to
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
that life throws at you. Because to your point, it's like you're using your instrument in a very exposed way. And I think some actors tend to feel more comfortable behind the character, even though the character brings a complete and fully realized version of a human being. Someone that comes to mind, two actors that come to mind are Johnny Depp and Joaquin Phoenix.
yeah,
When you see them in interviews or in talk shows or award shows, they're shy, they're a little weird, they seem like they're a little uncomfortable,
yeah.
but in their characters, they're incredibly
Full.
authentic, and
Yeah,
they pour in a lot of their humanity, in interesting ways, and I think that's part of just using their own stuff, but not necessarily wanting to be the product themselves,
right, right.
in real life.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for watching until the end. This has been Woke Wars, and I hope you liked our conversation. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Tell us what you'd like to hear us talk about next. Also, check out some of our other episodes. We post every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We will see you on the next one.